Now, in our first story, President Akufo-Addo has sworn in the last member of the Council of State, former Chief Justice Georgina Theodora Wood. The president urged the retired Chief Justice to bring to bear her wealth of experience to enrich the task of the council. Her former leadership also assured her loyalty to the state and members of the council. Joy News' Latifah Ibrahim witnessed the swearing-in ceremony, and he joins me with more. Latif, what else has the president been demanding of the new member of the Council of State? Latifah Ibrahim in a moment, but let's take some excerpts of what has transpired at the Flagstaff House.
May I now invite the President to make his remarks. Mr. President.
So, Madam, congratulations on your appointment. The Ghanaian people cannot have enough of you. You just stepped down as Chief Justice and straight into this new office. I think that this is a body that will benefit considerably from your experience, from all that you have been doing in your life up till now. It's a body which groups together people from all different walks of life and from different contributions to our national development. Yours is unique. The first female leader of our judiciary, the longest serving Chief Justice we've had in our history. I think those in itself provide a rich vein of information and of service that you can add. I count a lot on this body to help me. It's been doing a lot of work already. We shall be talking about that later. But I know that your implication in its work is going to enhance even more the work that is being done. So I'm particularly happy that I've had the opportunity to swear you into office, to make you a part of the Council of State. You're very welcome, and I know that you're going to do a good job for all of us. Thank you. Thank you.
We'll soon be going for that update live from the Flagstaff House. But in the meanwhile, the Judicial Service Staff Association of Ghana, JUSAG, is demanding that the new Chief Justice Sophia Ekufu effects the retention of 70% of the service's internally generated funds, IGF, to enable them function effectively. The service is currently retaining 30% of the IGF, something which threatens its existence, according to President Alex Knotty. JUSAG has been in deadlock with government over the years over a number of issues affecting them, including their conditions of service. When asked what's his topmost expectation of the new Chief Justice, Sophia Ekufu, Mr. Knotty mentioned the service's IGF retention is most paramount. He was speaking on Joy News Desk earlier today.
Judicial Service as an organization where we serve must exist for us to have a place to work in order to have our conditions of service. So the general well-being of the Judicial Service as an institution is the topmost. And when you talk about that, it means that you need financial resources to fund its operations. And as we talk now, as at 2016, the Judicial Service is only allowed 15% of its internally generated funds to run its capital-intensive operations. This is inadequate. We heard towards the close of 2016 that the previous administration was contemplating increasing it to 30%. Still, the 30% is not adequate because running the Judicial Service successfully to cater for the general needs of the people as enshrined in the 1992 Constitution requires a lot of resources. And so for her to be able to live up to expectation as we all expect her, government as the president promised yesterday, needs to fully support her in the area of funding. And so USAC is of the view that the government needs to grant not less than 70% of internally generated fund to the Judicial Service. As we talk now, we have courts all over, but it's only in Accra and Kumasi that you see flashy buildings. We do not think that it should be so. The districts and what have you require, court structures that befit the nature of the work we do. In the Local Government Act, the district assemblies have a duty to ensure that the district courts have all the structures and the facilities for the Judicial Service. But it appears that they have relented and have not averted their minds to it. We look forward that the Honorable Lady Chief Justice sworn in yesterday will take this issue up so that both the executive and the local authorities will work together with the judiciary to ensure that we enhance and improve upon the infrastructure of the Judicial Service nationwide, the work environment in which the Judicial Service staff work. Some of the buildings in which we work are dilapidated. Some are more or less even a trap, a death trap, sort of. And so we need to take a close look at all these things. Judicial Service Staff Association is ready to bring to bear all these issues to the attention of the relevant authorities and bring our skills to bear to help them, bring the image of the Judicial Service to this level so that we all can be comfortable and serve our people.
That was Alex Knotty, the president of the Judicial Service Staff Association of Ghana. Let's take you back to the Flagstaff House where my colleague Latifah Ibrahim is standing by. Latif, what's the latest at the Flagstaff House? Unfortunately, we seem to have lost my colleague Latifah Ibrahim. Let's take you back to the Flagstaff House where we have some images streaming there.
Not only the judiciary, but this country at large. And so I do thank you, and obviously I do thank God for sustaining me, for his faithfulness, and keeping me in public service for 47 years. I started first as a police prosecutor, and this is how far he's brought me. And I'm sincerely grateful to you and the people of Ghana for the confidence reposed in me. Mr. President, I do recognize that largely the role, constitutional role of the Council of State is consultative and advisory. But I do also recognize the importance, crucial importance it plays in the governance of this nation. And having listened to you a number of times spell out your vision and the goals that you have for this country. And through various means, job creation, improving the economy, the fight against corruption and impunity, all which are meant to enhance the lives of the good people of Ghana. Mr. President, you can count on my loyalty to the people of Ghana and to the Constitution. The experience that I've gained over these 47.
Right, that was the former Chief Justice and a new member of the Council of State, Georgina Theodora Wood. Let's go on the phone lines and speak with Latifah Ibrahim now. Welcome, Latif. What can you report from the Flagstaff House?
Yeah, Daniel, we just had the President, Nana Akufo-Addo, swearing in the immediate past Chief Justice, Madam Georgina Theodora Wood, to be part of the members of the Council of State. That just happened a while ago at the Flagstaff House, and that was quickly followed by a meeting. That's the formal first meeting between the President and the entirety of the Council of State. As we speak, that meeting is ongoing. The president allowed cameras in there briefly where he talked about the initiative of the Council of State. So far, they've taken on the issue of Galamsey seriously. If you remember, somewhere last month, we had the Council of State paying a visit to parts of the eastern region to look at and get first-hand information on how Galamsey is causing damage to the environment and some water bodies in the area. The president commended the council greatly on that and says that is what he wants his Council of State to be doing. They shouldn't just be a busybody chatter. They should be up and doing, and they should be forthcoming with information. They should be credible when counseling him on national issue. That is the message of the president to the members of the Council of State. Now, when he took his turn, the chairman of the council, Nana Otu-Sribo II, Nana Otu-Sribo II, who is the chairman of the Council of State, said they would respect the office. They know, how great the office of the Council of State is, and they respect the office. They will deliver timely and credible information when it comes to, discharging their duties as members of the council. So what is happening now at the Flagstaff House is an in-camera meeting between the president and the entirety of the Council of State, Daniel.
Right. Thank you very much, Latifah Idris, for that report. He was reporting there from the Flagstaff House. But Latifah, before you go, what were the responses of the former Chief Justice to some of the things the president was saying?
Yeah, the former CJ says, the president, before starting his remarks, said Ghanaians can't even have enough of the former CJ. And so when she took her turn, she said, yes, the president can count on her loyalty to serving the people of Ghana, considering the fact that she's been CJ for a number of years now. Now she's retired, and she's coming back to serve the country in her capacity as member of the Council of State, and says she has all these years, starting as a police officer, rose through the ranks, became Chief Justice, and now a member on the Council of State. The president and the Ghanaian people, according to her, can count on her loyalty, and she's going to deliver like she did as Chief Justice. That was, a very short remark the former Chief Justice gave when she had her turn to address the president.
Right. Thank you very much, Latifah Idris, for that report. He's my colleague here in the newsroom. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, we'll be taking you to Savelugu, where the drivers there are protesting. Stay tuned. Welcome back from that short break. Now, drivers at the Savelugu bus terminal in the northern region are protesting the relocation of their station to the Cocoa Market. The terminal is currently under lock and key, preventing vehicles from moving in and out of the station. The drivers are unhappy with the Tamale Metro Assembly for failing to provide any shelter and place of convenience as the new lorry terminal to which they are being relocated. The chairman for the terminal, Baba Karim, said the drivers will resist the relocation exercise until the assembly provides the facilities. Joy News' Martina Bugri is at the station and joins us with more. Martina, are you there? I believe passengers would be stranded at the stations. How are they reacting to the protest?
Just a while ago, the place was open for drivers who are not part of the relocation exercise to begin with. And so the place is eased up a bit. But in the morning, it was everything grounded to a halt. Passengers had to look for other alternatives to be able to move to their destination because the place had been locked. Both the entrance and exit of the bus terminal had been locked by the leadership of the Savelugu terminal because they said they were going to protest the assembly's decision to relocate them to the Cocoa Market. I spoke to the chairman, Baba Kamara, who spoke to the secretary, his interpreter, Dan Bawa. And they said that the leadership of the terminal had communicated to the Tamale Metro Assembly that before they would move to that place, they needed to make the place put the place in shape so that passengers would not be stranded when they come, especially those who travel at night. And he says that the place is like a transit center for most of these passengers who come in. And so most people sleep at the bus terminal, at the Saviligu terminal there before they are able to move the next day. And so if they are relocated to the Kuko market where there's no shelter, it's going to inconvenience their passengers. And that's why they are protesting.
Now, were the drivers not engaged prior to the relocation exercise?
According to Dan Bauer, he says that during the engagement between the Tamale Metro and the leadership, they put these concerns to the assembly, but the assembly refused to listen to their concerns. So
how is the assembly handling the situation now?
I spoke to the public relations officer of the Tamale Metro Assembly, Mr. Musa, and he says that the assembly plans to decongest the city, the town center, and Saviligu bus terminal is one of the areas that they plan to work on. He says that temporary shelter has been placed at the Kuko market. They put up some wooden structures where he says that they should move there and manage until they are able to put up permanent structures. But the drivers insist they would not move, and so they have sent the case to court and put an injunction on the relocation exercise.
Thank you very much, Martina Bugri, for that report. Let's now hear the station chairman, Baba Kamara. He has been speaking to Joy News.
The place they are saying the grounds are not well prepared. Our passengers, when they get there, there is no shelter. And Tamale is a transit area where passengers come from all over of life to pick cars to other destinations. Some of them come in the night, past the night here. Now we go to leave them over there, no shelter, nothing. There's no shade, no offices. And we told the assembly that this is our problem. If you can address them, if you can address our concerns, because that place, one, it's a marketplace, and you are telling transport to go there. I mean, when we go there, how many days are we going to be there? You tell us to do. So please, get a better place, or you prepare the place for us. Then the mayor told us that he's not going to do it. The power is in his hands. Whatever he says is final. So we came back, went to his office, and he said he gave us 10 days. The following day, we were here, and the task force came in with their recovery trucks to tow our vehicles. They even towed some of the vehicles. And we came and asked, why should the mayor tell us that he has given 10 days, they will go and work on the plans? And now you people are coming to tow our vehicles. Then they said it was miscommunication. Then they said, why should a big entity like this with a proper communication system? So we understood each other. And yesterday, we even sent the case to court. They were served with their letters. And to our surprise, yesterday we were here when they came with the task force announcing that today at 5, if we come out here, they would come and do all our cars out.
With refugees. That's the theme for this year's commemoration of World Refugee Day, which falls today. In essence, there's a quest to highlight the resilience of refugees and drawing attention to the fact that these group of people are here with us, and all and sundry must do well to stand with them despite their circumstances, with the hope to give them a better life.
Kick off, playing football, hoping this takes them to the dreamland. Yes. As diverse as this game itself is, so are these young people. These children live on the Crescent refugee camp. Most of them are third and second generation refugees. Their parents and grandparents came to this camp 20 years ago when it was built, fleeing war and persecution in their home countries. Kofi, 12, from Togo. Pascal, 16, from Congo. Ellie, 14 from Sierra Leone, and Zach, 12 from Liberia, are just a few of the several twinkle little stars hoping to shine on the world stage of football. A dream they hope could take them away from this camp.
See what you are picking up. Go down.
35-year-old Mohamed Conte is the man on the touchline, coaching these boys into their dreamland. Like Zach, Mohamed came to this camp 17 years ago as a small boy running away from war in his native Sierra Leone. He was a talented footballer, he tells me, but there was no help and his dreams went away with time. Now he wants a better future for these boys.
The people are fighting, shooting. I cannot go there. If I go there, I cannot survive. I want to be a footballer because it's my target when I was small. I like football.
If we go back, they'll kill us. That's why I don't want to go back. And I want to be a footballer.
The Ghana Refugee Board runs a school with funding from the UN refugee body, the UNHCR, on the camp. With representation for more than 14 different countries, this is one of the most diverse refugee camps in the world. One class in this school could contain children from more than 10 different countries. But for the many children who are studying here, an education beyond the basic level isn't guaranteed. Financial support for refugee kids only go up to basic level. Many of them fall out of school after that, and with limited opportunities of work, many are stranded on this camp.
I do know that there's a discussion going on with respect to secondary education. UNHCR are trying to work something out, but currently there's no assistance. And those who are locally integrating, for instance, have chosen local integration because they know or they believe that they will be able to fend for themselves here, make something out of whatever skills they've got so that they'll be able to fend for themselves, feed their families, pay school fees and so on.
Like the people who gave birth to them, the refugee kids on the Crescent camp have dreams, not just for football, but for a brighter future here in Ghana and to possibly put the dark days of war behind them and return to their home country. But for many, it may continue to remain just that, a dream. Justice Bedu, Joy News, Crescent.
Joy News is Justice Bedu there. Now, 177 companies in sectors ranging from retail to healthcare delivery are being prosecuted by the Data Protection Commission for failing to register with their outfit as required by the Data Protection Act 2012. Sections 27 Clause 1 and 46 Clause 3 of the Act mandate all entities and individuals who collect, hold and use personal data in Ghana to register with the Commission. Data controllers in these companies are therefore in danger of being imprisoned for 2 years or paying a fine of not more than 250 penalty units or both. Here's the Executive Director of the Data Protection Commission, Teki Akwete Falconer, explaining the importance of this exercise.
Why is it important for these institutions or companies to even register in the first place?
Well, one, I don't want to go with the requirements, but data protection is a business and a prudent business practice to help information management within the organization. Aside from that, it is mandatory under this law, and it is predominantly mandatory because the Data Protection Act seeks to protect the individuals, seeks to protect citizens of this country from the violation of their privacy. And one way by which we can ensure that is to ensure constant monitoring for compliance with the Data Protection Act. And the registration is one of the ways by which we're able to know which institutions are out there, what information they collect, how they are protecting the information, and to constantly monitor them to make sure that they are protecting the interest of their their customers or employees or any member of the public whose information they collect. Another reason why this is mandatory is because we are mandated as a commission under the law to make this information public, so that members of the public are well informed when they are giving out their information. As you know, my information is my right, and I should have absolute control over how it is used. So by publishing the list, which we are mandated to do, of the registered data controllers, we're able to empower individuals to take prudent decisions. So if I want to deal with a financial institution, who would I give? Is it the one that have taken a bold step to say, I'm going to comply with laws that protect your interest? Or is it the one that has not? So we need individuals to know about these things.
Well, are you not making life more difficult for people or complicated? Because you know, how practical is this? In your release, you warn the general public, you caution them against visiting some of the key hospitals and key facilities, saying that once you give the information, you give it at your own disadvantage. How practical is this, considering this country, this is Ghana we are talking about, really?
Yes, so we need to let people know, and they have to make that informed choice. At the end of the day, if you had earlier participated in our press conference, we had also indicated ways by which members of the public, if you feel that you have no choice but to visit these institutions, contact us as soon as possible for those ones that we don't know. But as I mentioned, we're not just ending it, we are giving them the information so that they can make informed choices. But it is also for the institutions to take steps immediately to remedy this act of not complying with the law.
Now, the Functional Executive Committee of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, meets today to begin deliberations on the report of the Professor Kwesi Botwe Committee detailing the reasons for the loss of the opposition party in the previous elections. Party officials have been tight-lipped about the reasons the report gave for the party's loss, but it did recommend, among others, that the party needs to make peace within its membership and strengthen its structures at the branch level. We'll bring you more later on this report. Now, you're still watching Joy News today on your Joy News channel on Multi TV. We'll take a quick break and bring you business. We have more after that. But before we go, today is World Refugee Day, so we want to bring you up close to the life of a refugee.
Chrisan refugee camp, tucked away some 150 kilometers west of Takoradi in the western region. Quiet and lonely, feels like a place devoid of any hope. But here, the inmates are not just whiling away time, they are also keeping themselves in wait of better opportunities to move on with their lives. Inside, I meet 47-year-old Patrick Molema from Congo, a hairdresser and beautician. He came to Chrisan 13 years ago, fleeing the massacre of Central African Republic's war. They cut my head open, he says, of the torture he went through in his home country. Now, he's training other refugees who want to start a trade in hairdressing.
I teach them to do the braids, weaves, pony, and the makeup. You can see the makeup there behind me. I teach them to be self-sufficient so they can fend for themselves. It can help them just as it is helping me. I was butchered by the rebels because I'm a Christian. I was the hairstylist of the First Lady of Central Africa. So we fled the country because of that. It was difficult. It's painful to talk about it because the shock is still with me.
Most refugees do want to start a life in Ghana. And for the people that I've met in the shop, learning a trade like this is one of the ways of achieving that. But they are heavily challenged because for most of the people, once they are done from this stage, they have the biggest challenge of integrating into the bigger Ghanaian society.
One of the people Patrick is training is Marie. Also from the DRC, she wants to live and work in Ghana, but has difficulties accepting a new life here.
La vie d'un réfugié, c'est pas facile. Surtout ici au camp, c'est pas facile.
The life of a refugee is not easy. Especially here, it's not easy. Look around us. This is not life. This is really not life for anyone. And nobody will like to live like this. There is nothing to eat. We are only managing. Even to manage is difficult. We are here doing hairdressing, and it's for our future.
La coiffure qu'on est en train de faire, c'est pour notre futur. Mais ici au Ghana, la coiffure qu'on est en train de faire, tu vas aller où pour aller faire cette coiffure?
But here in Ghana, what are we going to do with the hair we are learning to do? In the market or where? There are many people who did apprenticeship here, but there are no jobs.
Il n'y a pas de travail ici. Donc, c'est pas vraiment facile. C'est pas facile pour la vie ici.
For Martin Bannerman, manager at the Crescent camp, Ghana has to do more to help vulnerable refugees who want to integrate.
It is not everyone who can go back home for one reason or the other. And so for those who may not be able to go back home, it should be possible to roll out. If it's local integration, we should be able to roll out a local integration process. It has to be extensively discussed to the extent of involving even local communities to know the extent to which some of these local communities can even support in this local integration process, because it's very, very key. I think it's important for government to show more commitment in these processes, because if we don't do these processes well, if there will be a backlash of problems. We will find out that we will be burdened with people who may not be well skilled, who may not have any employment, source of employment, and become a burden on government.
With representation from more than 14 countries, Crescent is one of the most diverse camps in the world. But for its inmates, some who have been here since 1996 when it was set up, it's a struggle getting used to the new place they now call home. Justice Bedu, Joy News, Crescent.
So can we stand with refugees today as the whole world marks World Refugee Day? We'd like to end the bulletin on that note. But before we go, here's a recap of the headlines. President Akufo-Addo has sworn in former Chief Justice Georgina Wood into the Council of States to complete the membership composition. Judicial service staff are demanding 70% retention of IGF for the service to help realize the objectives of the newly sworn-in Chief Justice. Savelugu drivers protest the relocation of the Tamale lorry terminal to the cocoa market. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. Many thanks for joining us. My name is Daniel Dazi.